Hey, Johnny Roberts, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Mike?
I'm fantastic. It's a beautiful day. Spring has sprung, and can't complain, man.
Cannot complain. All the fun stuff begins that actually I love to do. Yard work, getting the deck set up, all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff, man. For the grilling out in the summer. We actually got a new Blackstone grill this year. Never had one, so I don't know. I'm nervous about it, I guess, because they say it's a little more challenging.
yeah, a little bit. My youngest son
But
has
we'll
one.
see.
My
So
youngest son has one, and he loves it. Just season it well, and he cooks eggs on it in the morning for breakfast. He does burgers in the night. He uses it a lot. So,
yeah,
that's
we'll
really
see. I
cool.
mean, my brother-in-law has one. He loves it. So
Yeah. Well,
um, we're gonna go
having,
for it.
yeah, you're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Summertime, spring and summer bring a lot of stuff. Like in my yard, it's bringing dandelions. And which I'm not, yard work's not my thing. I mow the yard, but my wife kind of does the other stuff. But you're kind of a yard work fan, right?
It's funny, yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen those, I think State Farm commercials where like you become your dad or whatever and they try um like you do stuff maybe your dad did even when you were younger. So when I was really young, I kind of was into it, but we moved into this house about 14 years ago. Man, I don't know, I just started to really like doing it. So yeah, I love doing
That's
it,
awesome.
My wife goes out there and does all the flowers and she's got all these, she puts flowers on our deck. We have a pretty good sized deck that was on the house when we moved here. I mean, it's a really big deck because there's a pool here and all that stuff. So
Okay.
26 cushions for chairs. I mean, we got chairs and little, what do you call them? Chair, little sofa and chair sets with little tables and
Yeah,
a dining table out there and regular sitting tables, a swing. Um,
that's a big
we have a
deck.
gazebo. So it's like crazy. 26 cushions. It's amazing how I'm able to pack these things up. I got to use the big garbage bags and stuff too in each one for the winter.
Oh,
But
I bet. That's yeah.
so all that's happening pretty soon here, along with the yard stuff. So it's right around the corner. So,
Well,
but it's
I
fun. I
it is
enjoy it.
fun. I'm glad you do. I love coming to places like yours and just looking around and saying that's amazing. Because
I become so paranoid, man. Even like edging on our sidewalk. It's like I like having that perfect edging, to where like you can
yep.
see down on the side of the sidewalk to where it's like super straight up
Oh
and
yeah.
all that stuff. And like if anyone parks on our grass on the front curb,
Oh, heaven forbid.
I'm like, get off the grass. Everyone knows not to now. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I
So
have become my father.
it's just like one of my worst nightmare in the summer is that tire 2 inches on my grass?
That's
Oh,
right. Well, who do you think
I'm
you are?
nice about it, but it's just like, oh, because once it goes down, Mike,
It's
with a
hard.
car tire,
Yeah,
man, it's hard to get back up there.
it is. It is. And it's funny you mentioned that because wasn't really thinking about it. I thought we were going to take a whole diversion off of finances today and just talk about yard work and things. But what you just said, the image hit me is when it goes down, it's hard to recover. And honestly, that's how finances are sometimes, right? If you're planning for retirement and the market goes down, it's hard to recover. And I bet I hadn't really thought too much about it, but I bet there are a lot of analogies between yard work, gardening, and things to financial planning and retirement. Fair? Do you think?
Yeah, I think there's so many things in our life that we're passionate about that, well, it doesn't matter what it is. I think that you can utilize for different areas of your life, whether it's spiritual life or in this case, health wise, maybe, or financial health too, and planning for retirement. So there's just so many cool little analogies that you can take from it. It's I love like stories in the Bible and the parables that Jesus always said they were like stories about just regular things that people do, but you can apply those to so many different areas of your life. And it's kind of like the same thing really with, I guess, retirement even, right? You can
Yeah.
apply some of these things to
Well, like
what it's all about.
springtime gardening with flowers. I'm sure my wife's going to go out to Lowe's or Home Depot or something and buy a bunch of flowers and digging a hole and sticking them in there. Sometimes she buys the packets. Remember those packets of seeds? I think they still.
Yeah.
But you plant seeds, right? And you have to water it and let it start growing. But if somebody told me this analogy years ago that if you plant like a new tree or a flower, and a week later you go out and you don't see much growth, he's like, if you yank that thing out and look at the roots and try to stick it back in, it's going to die. It's not going to work very well. And I think that's what happens with people with retirement. You know, they're saving money, then they yank money out, or the market crashes or something. And what we want to do is plant oak trees and nurture them and let them grow. Or maybe an apple tree. What's an oak tree produce? Acorns? Yeah, apple trees. They
Right.
produce apples.
Yeah, I
I
think so.
I don't know what an oak tree produces.
Yeah, I think the roots of so many things got to be pretty solid because, going along this analogy, if your, yeah, retirement is like all you've done is had just money, which looks pretty, kind of like flowers. Yeah, it looks
Mm,
beautiful. Yeah, I got a lot of money, but there's no roots or big planning behind it. That could take years to develop,
yeah.
right? And beginning that process, man, it could fall over or be picked up or, you know, cause major damage to it. Like we had a tree, we got some landscaping stuff done, and we had a tree put in our front yard years ago, and the people were like, "Yeah, we'll plant this tree." It was like 4 foot tall or whatever, just one of these straight up trees. That was like 12 years ago. I had to take it down because they put it by our front kind of window area just off the house.
Mhm.
We have a 2-story colonial home. That thing was taller than our house,
No way.
and the roots of that thing grew so much. I mean, they were like it might get 7 or 8 feet or whatever. This thing was a beast, and it was right by our front bedroom window. I could reach out the window and grab it,
Oh
you
my
know,
goodness. Yeah.
just if I wanted to lean far enough. So the roots of it were so strong, there was nothing I could do about it. So I'd have someone come and pull it out just because you could pound on the foundation and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it took a while to do that, but man, it was solid. And so
Well,
if it was farther away from the house, we would have kept it. But um, that's kind of like our retirement, I think, needs to be is we got to have solid roots
yeah.
in different things to make our retirement solid, right?
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. And if you go back to my apple tree analogy, you know, an apple tree, it takes a few years to get it to produce apples, but once it starts producing apples, as long as you care for it, it's going to produce apples year after year after year after year after year. And that's kind of like, people setting up a great retirement plan. And we've talked recently about, guaranteed income for life and different things about you need a retirement tree per se that will produce income for you year after year after year. I think you always say that it's great because on January 1st, I wake up knowing exactly how much money I'm going to have this year. And that's what
Absolutely.
people need, because it brings peace of mind and it makes your retirement beautiful like a great apple orchard.
It's like along those lines of like yard work and stuff. It's amazing that in Michigan we had a horrible, like a very cold lot of snow this year in Michigan. And when all the snow melts, the grass looks like just dead. It
Mm-hmm.
is dead, right? Yeah. It's unbelievable. But after a few days of sunshine,
It's
within a
back.
week or something, you're walking around the neighborhood, you're like, oh my gosh, this grass is all green again.
Yep.
And so having that kind of concept about different areas of your life and even your retirement, right, is you can withstand the winters that will happen in your life financially or different areas that are going to come your way. Could be a health problem that
Mm-hmm.
could really destroy your financial yard, so to say. But man, when the storm is over or the winter time is over, it comes back.
It does.
Yeah.
That's
It
so
comes
good.
back. It's amazing. The trees around here, we're famous for our leaves falling off trees in Michigan, and they go bare bones almost. Like there's no way. And then you come back in the spring, and man, it's just beautiful. So, uh, our kind of our, I guess, our retirement, our financial a bunch of areas of our life we
Yeah.
can use that analogy, but because I focus on this a lot, is financially it's the same thing. How big are our roots? Do we have it set up to where we can withstand the winters of financial hardship, health situations, so that grass is going to go green again once the storms subside,
Yeah.
the wintertime goes away or the trees will bloom
Absolutely.
again.
Yep. and there's always some a factor of caring for it at some level, making sure that you're weeding things, making sure that you're giving the fertilizers. It's not, I mean, retirement's not something you're like, okay, I saved, there you go, I'm done. It's you really need to do at least an annual review, and I know you do this with your clients and things as you're in contact with them, because life changes and weather patterns change per se, right? So you just talked about a health issue that could be a weather pattern changing in retirement, and you've got to be able to review, to talk and go, okay, what's going on, and are we positioned well to not only endure the storm but to actually grow through it, right?
Yeah, it's I just literally had some folks come into my office the other day, and we were going over all these things that I think are so important, right? The tax part of it, income part, navigating through markets. And they literally said, we've had this financial person that's helped us for years, and they'd never said anything about this kind of stuff. We just kind
Mm,
of get our statement, review our money, and that's kind of all we do. And it, financial planning, retirement planning, so to say, man, it's just like that yard work, like you said. You've always got to take a look at things, be able to navigate through the parts of inflation and market awareness, tax law changes. You're always cutting the grass. I'm always edging. Sometimes you got to pull weeds and, get the yard fertilized. Like I said, I'm crazy about our yard stuff. So it's more so than others. But going to the extreme on that way, it doesn't hurt anything. It just makes it look better or whatever. And when you sit back with my little Pepsi Zero on the porch and deck, and you look over the yard, my wife, and all the lines are nice from the lawnmower and everything. It's like it's kind of corny and cheesy, but I'll sit there and like, oh man, it looks so nice. And my grandson can run around in it. My wife's like, wow, it looks so good. And so, but it does take maintenance. It does take ongoing
it does.
work, reviewing your yard or reviewing your
Yeah.
finances, so to say, on a regular basis. For sure.
It is, yeah. So if you're listening to this, as you're driving around, you're looking at all the nice landscapes and things. Those don't just happen. They take care, they take attention, and that's Johnny. That's what you and your team do. And you wrote about it in your best-selling book, "Retire at New Heights," that people can get a free copy when they connect with you. But this has been kind of a fun conversation to get. I thought we were going to take a whole thing about just yard work, but it's funny how yard work ties right into what you do and how it needs to be taken care of, and yeah, like you said, mowed and fertilized and all that. So if you're interested in yard work, have that conversation with Johnny, and then talk to him about finance as well, because he can go.
Retire at newheights.com. And I will say the biggest thing I'm dealing with yard work right now is, do I go to the battery tools or stick with the gas? Because
Yeah.
there's the big debate, man. It's like those gas ones they just seem more powerful and reliable. When my son-in-law switched over to battery on everything,
Okay.
so it's like I had to go get a new weed whacker last year, and I was like, he had me this close to buying a battery one. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I'll just stick with the gas,
I'm
because
with you.
I like
Yeah.
that sound and
There's more power there, I think.
there
So,
is more power. So,
and the sound is it's very manly.
oh, it's
So,
awesome.
all right, brother. We'll be back next week, and we'll probably talk about something other than yard work. But this was kind of fun. So, thanks for hanging out with us, and go do some yard work now, Johnny.
I will. Thanks, man.